Hey, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Fine. Well, I'm CJ, and you are
I'm Katie.
Katie.
hmm
Nice meeting you.
Hi, it's a pleasure.
Alrighty. Okay. Well, what brings you here today?
Um, so many things. Um, I've been having a lot of trouble with the relationship I have with my mother
Oh,
recently.
okay. Well, before you get into that,
hmm
I'm glad you came to talk to me. That's very good that you even came here to express your feelings. We're gonna talk about briefly for like 20 minutes, so I won't hold you long. I just need to get to know what's going on and explain a few things to you before you actually start talking. First, I am a student, so is that fine?
That's okay.
Okay, that's good. And also, um, confidentiality, just some things that if you share that's bringing harm to yourself or another person, I will have to report that. So just want to make sure you understand that.
Okay.
So tell me what's going on with you and your mom.
Um, my mother is, my mother's an alcoholic. She has been for a long time, and it's gotten progressively worse over, like, I'd say about the past like 8 or 9 years. Um, a lot of it was really bad when I moved out of the house, and then moved away from her. That's really when things just kind of went downhill. She kind of refuses to address the fact that she has a problem. She's gone through rehab a few times. She really just hated the whole experience, and she kind of refuses to take responsibility for the situation that she's put in, and it leaves me feeling very angry at her.
Okay. So the fact that she doesn't own up to her problem
Mhm.
upsets you. Well, you said she's an alcoholic.
Mhm.
So what do you think those feelings come from? Just her not owning up because she has tried rehab or
Mhm.
whatever. So
She thinks that, and I've talked to her about this. She thinks that her problem isn't alcohol; it's that she's depressed, and the reason that she drinks is because she's depressed. But she doesn't really seem to understand that it's her drinking that causes her depression. And she binges, and when she binges, it's bad. She's been hospitalized. She's almost died 3 or 4 times over the last 6 years. Yeah. She was hospitalized because her gallbladder and her pancreas were failing, which apparently, after talking to the doctors, is a common symptom of people who are alcoholics. Um, we kind of forced her to go to AA, which she hated. For a while, she would go to AA, and then she drinks really cheap white wine. That's her weapon of choice, I guess you could say. And she'd go to AA, and then she would come back, and she'd buy wine on the way home. And I lived out of the state for several years, and I have 2 brothers, and they really kind of took the brunt of taking care of her. And when I came back, I moved back in with her, hoping to really help facilitate the situation. And she just kind of she hit bottom, and then she got sober, and then she hit bottom. And it was just this cycling where she would, the things that she would say to me, that woman's disowned me more times than I have fingers. She's just really, she can be very combative and very abusive, and it's gotten to the point where my relationship with her is almost completely deteriorated.
okay, so I know when you first began talking, you said this has been going on for about 8 or 9 years.
Mm-hmm.
So how was your childhood? Was your mother always like this, or this was just had a sudden onset? Did something cause it?
She's actually a really good mom when we were kids. She was a stay-at-home mom for a while. She started staying at home when my older brother was born. My dad was around, but my parents got divorced when I was 10. And I don't have any recollection of my mom really drinking or being in any way that she is now when I was younger. It really didn't start to crop up until I was about 20. So it was about 10 years ago when I started noticing it. And then when I was 21, I I was in a relationship and I was engaged and my fiance passed away. And since then, my mother just has gone completely off the rails. And I think a lot of it had to do with the fact that I couldn't handle myself, and she felt so incapacitated that she couldn't be there for me. And she and my dad got divorced almost 20 years ago, and she still hangs on to she could have done better, what she could have done to make him stay, and things like that. And she just refuses to move forward.
Okay. So in relation to you and her relationship, you don't think you have any part of her being depressed that time, that time point, that time that you moved away? Do you think she went downhill?
Yeah,
Or what?
I really do.
And so you moving back didn't help any? You think that she was too far progressed in this?
I think so. I think that she got to a point where I've always been closer to my mother than my brothers have, and when I did move away, she took it really, really hard. Um, and and I was gone for about 4 years, so when I came back, I think she almost took it like a betrayal.
Oh,
And she just, once I had left, and I moved all the way across the country, so it wasn't like I could just come back on a moment's notice. Once I left, according to my older brother, she just started getting really, really bad. Like not showing up for work, she wouldn't eat. She didn't eat anything. She just drank herself silly every single day. And she wasn't taking care of herself. She, our neighbors went to go check on her one day, and she was just passed out cold on the tile floor. So she just got exponentially worse after I left.
okay. Did you go off to school?
No, I just moved. I graduated college, and I just really wanted to have an adventure. So I left. And I feel, I don't feel guilty about leaving because I've always been very independent. I feel guilty about leaving my brothers. I didn't anticipate the situation to deteriorate the way that it did, but I felt overwhelming guilt about putting them in a situation where it just wasn't fair. And I couldn't do anything. You know, it's not like I could just come back on the weekends and help out with them. I just couldn't, I felt so incapacitated, and I contemplated moving back so many times, and I had conversations with my older brother about, do you want me to come back? Do you want me to move back? Do you need my help? And he's like, you can come back if you want to, but it's really not going to make a difference for us. So, yeah.
So have you, I know I heard you say that your mom has taken it like betrayal. Has she ever said that to you out of her mouth, verbally?
She hasn't said that. She tends to tell me that I'm a disappointment to her because I'm not married and I don't have kids. But on the flip side, she does this thing that drives me nuts. She whenever I talk about something that I do well, or that I'm good at, or certain things, she takes credit for it. She'll say something like, I'm very crafty. I like to make things. I we furniture and I make clothes and stuff like that. And I was talking to her on the phone the other day, and I was telling her about a project I was working on, and she literally said to me, "Oh, you're good at that because I taught you to be that way because you're like me." And it just takes all of the value of the pride that I have in that situation out of it. And she says things like that to me, and then she'll say something like, I can't believe that you haven't gotten over this, like you haven't gotten over your fiance, and I can't believe that you haven't moved on. Don't you know you're getting older? You're gonna end up alone like me, and things like that. And it's hard. I mean, she's my mom. She's supposed to care about me and really take care of me, and she doesn't at all. I feel like I feel like I have to take care of her more so than anything else.
Okay, how does all this affect your daily living? Does it?
It was really bad for a while when I was living at home. Um, I was living at home and working from home and having to take care of her. Um, that was rough. That was for the past year. That was really not fun. She broke her ankle last summer, and she just was completely incapacitated. So I literally waited on her because she couldn't walk. She could barely move. Now that I've moved out recently, it's gotten considerably better. I have more independence. I still talk to her almost every other day, something like that. I go back. She lost her license because she had a DUI, which is such a shocker. But so I go back every couple weeks to check on her, make sure she's got enough food and that she's doing okay. But I've gotten considerably better, I think personally, since I got out of that
I would
situation.
agree. I would agree. It's good that you still help your mother, although she sometimes hurts your feelings.
Mhm.
So that's good that you still have some value of you all's relationship
Yeah.
because you're still making sure that she has food and that her well-being is good. So I commend you on that. That some people will let it go.
Yeah.
So that's very good. It was something that I wanted to address. Okay, it was about her AA meetings. Is she in any type of treatment at the moment?
She right now, because of her DUI, she has to go see her parole officer and she gets randomly screened. She has to do community service. And her foot healed so she can walk and everything now. But um, she's not really seeing anyone. I think she's really lonely. She doesn't really have any friends. She really kind of drove everybody out of her life with her drinking. But she has no desire to go into any type of support group. I mean, she's been sober for the last few months, but it's really only because she has no way of getting anywhere. Because I'm not going to buy her booze, and she can't drive a car. So she's really kind of like, it's more of a symptom to her situation rather than a choice, I think.
So how has her behavior been since she's been sober? Is she depressed or is she?
She's been okay. She's been, I don't know if she's necessarily happier. She's been more agitated about like financial things. I mean, she's been out of work for a few years. And she really kind of wants to get a job, and which is going to be considerably harder now that she has a DUI. She wants to get a job, and she's been like doing projects and stuff and trying to keep busy. But I know that her and staying in a house all day, every day is not good for her. And I'd really like some way for her to get out and be more socialized in what she's doing. But her attitude is definitely, it's just night and day from when she's drinking and when she's not.
Okay. When you do visit her, do you all do nice things? Do you all go out, have dinner?
Generally we'll have dinner. Like I'll go out and make sure I'll take her to the places she needs to go. Make sure I'll go grocery shopping with her. I'll take her to I'll take her to Home Depot to buy plants that she'll almost immediately kill. But she just making sure she gets her errands run and things like that. So I try for it to be pleasant, but I just have this anger, and I get annoyed with her almost instantaneously. I cannot spend more than maybe 2 days around her before I just can't stand the sound of her voice. And I don't feel good about that.
Okay, well, at least you're in touch with how you're feeling. With that, is it because of the things she say to you in the past, that she said to you in the past, or just the things that she does now? Or it's a mixture of both?
It's kind of a mixture of both. like generally she'll try to be pleasant, but she has a tendency to be like kind of passive aggressive and say kind of really like nitpicky negative things to me. And that's kind of what sets me off, is that it annoys me to no end. It's just like she does this thing where she makes kind of like, it's things that she says is more like an accusation than a question, where I had to go to a wedding a couple weeks ago, and I come downstairs. The wedding was in Atlanta, so I drove down there so I could actually get there on time. This was on Friday. And I come downstairs and I'm wearing like a black dress that I was